Hi, I'm delighted to be here with my good friend, Minta Medina, HR expert. Fascinating life. You worked in HR pretty much your whole career, and much of your career, working with big companies, but you now run HR Help for Business.
That's right.
And you help small businesses with everything when it comes to taking on board people. And you run a workshop here, which I'm just about to sit on, called Bringing People on Board Your Business. And that thing about bringing people on board their business and helping people, I know as a coach working with people, is one of the biggest challenges. Tell me in a nutshell, why is this such a big issue when it comes to getting that first person or bringing people on board generally? Why is it so challenging?
I think that when sole traders are running their business and they are wearing several hats, they then start feeling that they need some help, but they're very afraid to bring somebody on because they don't know the type of person they need to bring. They don't know whether it should be a contractor, an employee. How are they going to handle this person? Because they may know very well their core business, but managing people is an entirely different thing. And if it doesn't work, it can cost them a lot of money.
Got you. So this is a really good starting point. So you said that you've already highlighted that there's a number of options. Is it about contractor? Is it about an employee? And I guess some people even bury their head under the sand in the first place. I kind of need help, but I'm too afraid to ask.
And which way do I go? So they feel completely at a loss, you know, what they really need to do.
So what are the options then? At the moment where you're beginning to realise you're snowed under, or things are going well, or things are going, you know, more challenges or what have you, what's the first thing that you should do? And walk us through a couple of those options very briefly.
I mean, you need to identify the telltale signs that you really need help. When your business, that you started going into business because you enjoyed it, you loved what you did, and all of a sudden you begin to resent your business because it actually is taking over your life.
What are those telltale signs? Tell us those telltale signs.
You're working too many hours, you're working weekends, your family is beginning to complain that they hardly ever see you, and then you start hating the business that you're running because it's just too much. And then there are just so many challenges and so many things that you have been doing, but you really are not the best at to do. It could also be that you have too many demands of your specialty with your clients and you need somebody else who does exactly what you do, but then you're afraid, who do you bring that is not going to take your business away? How do you handle that?
Or another telltale sign, if people have been lucky enough, I'd imagine, that suddenly they're overwhelmed. You know, that there's a lot of demand which might bring on board some of those things.
So then they need to start deciding, okay, what sort of person do I need? Do I need to employ somebody, or do I just need to use a contractor who's going to take off my hands the type of things that I don't really want to do or I'm not very good at?
And one of the things I love about your workshop is that you guide people through this particular kind of process.
That's the idea.
So tell me a couple of those steps in terms of help somebody realise if it's a contractor, if it's seasonal, if it's an employee that they need.
That's right. I mean, if you're going to need somebody to take over doing your accounts, for example, or your marketing, then obviously it's very nice and easy to find a contractor that is going to take that off your hands, because that's going to be required, but not on a daily basis and not to work with you. So that's an easy one. But then if you actually need some help in your business, then you need to start identifying, okay, there are a number of areas that I need to cover, but which is the one that is actually the one that I don't want to do very much, or is actually using up too much of my time. So once you go from that, then you decide, do I need a person all the time, or is this sort of my business sort of like seasonal, you know, maybe Christmas time if I'm selling something, that's going to be my busy time. Maybe summertime if I'm actually running some touristic agency or something. So you need to decide, because then you can hire someone just on a seasonal basis, and then it's not going to cost you something throughout the year. Even for companies that will need somebody to work with them all of the time, it is also very important to decide, do you need to employ somebody on a full-time basis, part-time basis, fixed-term contract, so that you don't commit yourself over the time when maybe your business will go to have some fluctuation and then you can't afford it. The problem with employing people is that you take on a responsibility to pay whether there is work or not.
And what you're saying here, you know, Minta, is gold dust, and I guess this is one of the reasons why people often struggle with it, and why it's wise often to get help. So you've guided us through some pointers in terms of if it's a contractor, if it's a particular skill from somebody external to their business, and you flagged up where it might well be that they might need some more formalised kind of support, part-time or fixed terms and what have you. Tell me then, if somebody is going through that process where they are going to recruit or need somebody, just tell us very briefly a couple of the key tips and key stages that you should, or things to think about.
Yeah, the main thing to do, because obviously if you're just going to start employing somebody, how are you going to know if it's going to be a part-time person, a full-time person? How do you define that? And it's very, very helpful to start writing out the tasks that you do within that type of job, if you like. If it's your administration, for example, okay, what do I do in administration? I answer the emails, I place orders, I buy this,
so
I buy
you're really
that,
going to need to step back to do this, because if you've been a sole trader all that time, or working in, or it's a company, but it's just you, all that might be jumbled up. So you really need to step back and to be clear about the actual tasks.
So what are the things that are going to be encompassed within this task?
Right.
And then you do the list. And then you, because you have been doing it, you can actually say, okay, how long does it take me to do this? How long does it take me to do that? How often do I do it within the week?
I see.
And then once you actually do that and you add up all the hours, then you actually have a clear idea as to what type of person you're looking for, what type of tasks the person will need to do, and do I need a part-timer, do I need a full-timer? If it's a part-timer, is it every day, a few hours, or is it just a couple of days a week? That it will help you, because you will know when you need the job to be done.
Right, what you're saying is goal adjustment, so much so that I'm going to stop the camera and briefly come back for 2 minutes for part 2, because I think there I want you to just give us a few pointers, and once that's been done, what somebody should do in terms of that recruitment process, whether they should get in an expert like yourself, or if it's something they might be able to do themselves. So I'll come back in just a second. Thank you.
Okay.